As we know, we always like to connect the Parsha of the week to the current events of this week. And as we know, this week we're having the big day called Yutes Kislev, the 19th of Kislev, the day of the liberation of the Balatanya, Chag HaGeula, as the Rebbe Rashab called it, Rosh Hashanah for Chassidus. It's definitely a very special day. We need to farbring about it, we're going to talk about it. And the main thing is good results to come out of this day. But how do we connect it to this week's Parsha? There's a lot of connection. We'll talk only about one little idea because we just have a few minutes. So the Parsha of this week, towards the end of this week's Parsha, we're learning about Yosef. So we know the story that Yosef was a slave, but he was arrested by his boss, as we called him Potiphar or Potiphera, and he was in prison for 12 years. This is the story we're learning in this week's Parsha. And then the Torah gives us a whole story that in the prison that he was, they arrested two of the ministers, I guess friends of his boss. His boss was also a minister by Pharaoh. Another two ministers were arrested, and they were together in the cellar. So we'll learn a story that they woke up in the morning. I'm not sure if it was the next day, a week later, a month later. The Torah doesn't say, but this is the story goes. They woke up in the morning, those two ministers of Pharaoh, and Yosef sees that they don't look good. So he asked him, Madua pneichem zo'afim, why don't you look good? He said, what's bothering you? What's wrong with you? And they don't want to say. Eventually they tell him the dream, and he gives them the story of the dream, and at least one of them, it makes him very happy. As learn inside a lot of details of that story. And the question is, what is all this relevant to us? Why does the Torah go in to the details that Yosef asked him? Why? And you're not happy, and he gives result of the details of the dreams. What is irrelevant to us? What does that have to do with us? But the big question is, because we cannot answer all the questions today, but the big question is asking them, why you look so sad? Why you look sad? You're in jail, you're sad. Isn't this the simple answer? People are in jail, they're not happy, they're sad. When Yosef is like wondering, why are you so sad? Then they give him a whole explanation. Why are you so sad? Who wouldn't be sad being in jail? There's a beautiful answer given by the Rebbe in the year Tafshin Lamed Daled, 1973. The Rebbe says it's a beautiful lesson for us. And the message is powerful. Yosef HaTzadik, being in jail, many years, this was after him being 10 years in cellar, in a dungeon. That's where he was for 10 years already. And as we know the story, for nothing. The normal thing is, when you're in a cellar for 10 years, and you know there's no reason for that, you're very upset. You're very sad. You're very, very upset with the entire world. Especially who you're upset with? With the one that put you into the dungeon. And that was his boss. Well, now let's look at the story. Instead of Yosef sulking, being upset, being mad at everybody, on the contrary, he sees those two ministers, friends of his boss, friends of that person that threw him into the cellar. And he sees them sad. He says, why are you sad? Why aren't you happy? Yosef HaTzadik, instead of being what he should be at that moment, being so upset and sad being in jail, he can't understand why would somebody be upset. Who is it concerned for? Is concerned for these two people, friends of the person that threw him into jail. And he's concerned for them. He tells them, why are you sad? Midav zayin freilach. You got to be happy. In other words, Yosef himself, with everything going on with him, he's a happy person. And because he's a happy person, he looks at them and he tells them, why are you so sad? Is there any way I can help you to make you feel better? Tremendous line, he tells them. Is there anything I can help you to make you feel better? This is friends of his enemy. Friends of the person that threw him into jail. What is he concerned of? Is there any way I can make you happy? Him being in jail, him being 10 years in trouble, what is a concern? Can I make you happy? And he tries, and it does. You know what the result of all this is that Hashem does? You are a person that being in trouble, in jail, in the dungeon, what are you concerned to make another person happy? When a person that's against you, you still want to make him happy. I will give you a position by Pharaoh that you're going to be able to help not only one person, not only two people, you'll be able to help the world, as we'll learn next week's Parsha. And that's the reward Hashem gives him. A person that being in jail, a happy person. And not only a happy person, you see somebody, your enemy, you're working on him. How could I make him happy? You're being in jail for a reason, to make another person happy. Hashem said, this is the reward I'm going to give you. I believe this is a beautiful message to us. We're sitting in Golos, we're sitting in the dungeon, we're sitting in trouble. Instead of sulking or being sad or being upset, Yosef tells us, let's go out there and let's make another person happy. Yes, the easy way is to be upset, when you have right reasons to be upset. But Yosef says that's not the way a Jew is going to act. You got to make someone happy. You got to help another person while you're in jail. And this we see about Alter Rebbe, that he got out of jail, Yutas Kislev. We see similar ideas. I'm not going to get all the stories, but it's the stories of the people, the ministers that arrested him and came to talk to him. He could have been upset with them. He could have been very upset with them. They gave him a lot of headaches and trouble. Let's not get into all these stories right now. But they're there, coming to see him, and they question him, when he helps them, when he takes care of them, as all the stories we know about Alter Rebbe being in jail. The same message the Alter Rebbe gives us too. Being in jail is not to be sulking. Help another person. And this is the result of the Rebbe. He got out of jail, and he became the master Rebbe of thousands upon thousands upon thousands of Hasidim to help out the Jewish world. I think we should all learn that message. We are in Golus, in our own prison, locked in our own life. Let's get out of our problems and let's go out there and do Yosef HaTzadik's message, Yosef HaTzadik's mission. Ask another person, why you sad? What can I do for you? How can I help you? Have a great, beautiful Shabbos and beautiful bringing for Yitas Kislev.